Здравствуйте! Welcome to the Russian class. Okay, we will start this lesson with the construction Как дела? Как дела? Как дела is how are you in English? Как дела? And how do we answer this question? So, we have a couple of answers. So, if someone asks you Как дела? We normally say хорошо, хорошо. Как дела? Хорошо. Как дела? Хорошо. The next answer that we can use is нормально, нормально. Как дела? Нормально. Okay. In this lesson, we are learning how do we write some vowels and the consonants. So, this is basically in continuation with our previous lesson. In this lesson, we will learn these letters of the Russian alphabet. The first one is R, R, L, L, I, I kratke, Sh, Sh and Zh, Zh. So, let us start with R. So, while pronouncing you can notice that when we pronounce R, your front part of the tongue moves towards the alveoli and repeatedly strikes it. That is how this R sound is produced. So, let us practice this sound with some of the vowels. Ra, Ro, Ru, Ri, Re. The other way around, R, Or, Ur, Ir. The next topic that we have in this lesson is the simple sentences. How do we write simple sentences in Russian? So, I will write some of the sentences on the blackboard and then we will discuss the distinguished features of the simple sentences in Russian. Okay, the first sentence that we have is Это дом. Это дом. It means this is a house. This is a house. As you can see, we have not used any link verb between these two components of the sentence. Это дом, there is no link verb. So, in Russian, we do not use any link verb in the present tense. That you have to remember. Again, in the same way, the second sentence that we have is Это доска. Это доска. Again, there is no link verb. The next sentence that we have is Это мама и папа. Это мама и папа, which means this is mother and father. One more thing that is important to tell you here is in Russian we do not have articles, either definite or indefinite. So, we do not use articles in Russian. So, while translating these sentences, you have to keep these things in mind that we do not have any link verb in the present tense and do not use any articles in Russian. Okay, the next topic we are going to learn here is voiced and voiceless consonants. So, what is a voiced consonant and what is a voiceless consonant? So, let us try to pronounce two consonants Z and S, Z and S. As you can notice that both these sounds have similar articulation, that is they are pronounced with the tip of tongue slightly touching the lower teeth. So, z and s are produced when the tip of the tongue slightly touches the lower teeth. As it has been already mentioned that a sound is produced when air is blown from inside through your oral cavity. During the passage of the air through the throat, the vocal cords vibrate, and if the vibrations are more, the resulting consonant will be a voiced consonant, and if the vibrations are less, the resulting consonant will be a voiceless. But you have to remember that when we say voiceless consonant, it does not mean that there is no voice. Voice is there, but it is less. The quantity of vibrations is less. Some voiced consonants in Russian exist in pair with their voiceless counterpart. So, I will write them on the blackboard and you can pronounce them, and you can notice that which one of them are voiced and which one of them are voiceless. As we have discussed that there are consonants which exist in pairs with their voiceless counterpart. So, there are voiced consonants along with their voiceless counterparts. As you can see here, the first letter is B. Pronounce this consonant B, and now pronounce P. B, P. You must have noticed that while pronouncing B, there are more vibrations felt here, and while pronouncing P, vibrations are less. So, this B is voiced consonant as we have already defined, and P voiceless. Similarly, the, the, the place of articulation of both these sounds are same, but while pronouncing the, vibrations are more, that is why this is a voiced consonant, the, and voiceless counterpart is the. Z, S we have already discussed previously. The next we have is J and Sh. J, Sh. Again the place of articulation is the same, but J is voiced consonant and Sh is voiceless consonant. The next pair that we have is G and K. Both are velar sounds, but G is voiced and K is its voiceless counterpart. Next is V is voiced and F is its voiceless counterpart. So, let us repeat them once again: B, P, D, T, Z, S, J, Sh, G, K, V, F. So, in addition to these consonants, there are some consonants which are always voiced. Look at them: I, M, N, R, L. So, these consonants are always voiced in Russian language, and apart from the voiced consonants, there are certain consonants which are always voiceless. They are ts, ch and sh, ts, ch and sh. So, we will now look at the next topic, which is devoicing of the final consonants. as we have already discussed that we have voiced consonants and voiceless consonants in Russian language. So, what happens if a voiced consonant comes in the end of a word? For example, we will try to pronounce word zub, z, u, b. It is pronounced as zoop. So, the last consonant, which is b, is a voiced consonant, but when a voiced consonant comes in the end, it is pronounced as its voiceless counterpart, which is p. So, that is why zoop, b has been pronounced as zoop. Next word we have is p, r, a, v. How will we pronounce this word? Praf. Why? Because v is again a voiced consonant which will be pronounced as its voiceless counterpart, which is f, praf. So, let us do it once again with another word d, r, u, g. So, how will we pronounce this word? G is again a voiced consonant. So, this voiced consonant will be pronounced as k, druk. So, let us practice this phenomenon with some more words. For example, how will we pronounce this word which has g, o, r, o, d, and stress is on first o. So, following the devoicing principle, we can say that the will be pronounced as the. Go-rat, go-rat. Okay. E, t, a, zh. How will you pronounce this word? Zh is a voiced consonant, and what is its voiceless counterpart? Sh. So, itash, itash. So, we have done what happens when a voiced consonant comes in the end of a word. So, now let us consider another case when the combination of voiced and voiceless consonants come together in a word. So, what happens? So, let us consider the first case when a voiced consonant occurs before the voiceless consonant. For example, how will you pronounce this word? Z, a, v, t, r, a. As you can see, there is a combination of voiced consonant which is v and voiceless consonant which is t. So, what happens is this v will be pronounced as f, which is the voiceless counterpart. So, this combination of letters will be pronounced as zaftra, zaftra. V has become f while pronouncing this word. Let us take another word v, o, d, k, a, and stress is on o. So, again we have a combination of voiced and a voiceless consonant. So, what happens? How will you pronounce this word? So, if a voiced consonant occurs before the voiceless consonant, it becomes voiceless. So, by the same principle, we will pronounce this word as vodka, vodka. So, the is pronounced as t. So, let us take another case. We have seen what happens when voiced consonant occurs before a voiceless consonant. What will happen if a voiceless consonant occurs before a voiced consonant. For example, let us take this word f, u, t, b, o, l. As you can see, there are two consonants in this word, t and b, and t is a voiceless consonant and b is a voiced consonant. So, how are we going to pronounce this word? So, if a voiceless consonant occurs before a voiced consonant, it is pronounced as its voiced counterpart. So, how will you pronounce this word? Football, football. So, this t will be pronounced as its voiced counterpart, which is the. Let us take another example. V, O, K, Z, A, L. How will you pronounce this word? Vagzal, vagzal. Again, K, which is a voiceless consonant, has been pronounced as its voiced counterpart, which is G, vagzal. Okay, let us practice this phenomenon with some more words. For example, how will you pronounce this word? L, O, R, K, A. So, again R, which is a voiced consonant, has come together with K, which is a voiceless consonant. So, if a voiced consonant occurs before a voiceless consonant, it will be pronounced as its voiceless counterpart. So, what is the voiceless counterpart of the voiced consonant? R, sh. So, we will pronounce this word as loshka, loshka. Okay, the next topic we are going to do in this lesson is intonation, intonation of sentences. What is an intonation? Intonation is the pitch of a sentence which is used for emphasis or to convey surprise or irony or to pose a question. So, I will write some sentences and we will try to read them. We will try to see what happens when we read different sentences in Russian. So, the first sentence is "Это дом", "Это дом", "Это дом". So, what happens is the pitch normally falls towards the last stressed syllable, "Это дом", and this is called the intonation construction, intonation construction 1. So, normally in the narrative sentences we follow this type of intonation construction, in which it starts with the middle tone and it falls towards the last stressed syllable. The next intonational construction is, how will you read this sentence? Кто это? Кто это? Кто это? Кто это? This is an interrogative sentence with an interrogative word, which is кто, кто. So, what happens in this type of sentences is, normally the pitch goes up on the interrogative word and then it falls flat towards the end. Кто это? Кто это? So, this is called intonation construction number 2. The third type of intonation that we are going to do today is intonation construction 3. So, what happens when we have an interrogative sentence without any interrogative word? For example, "Это дом", "Это дом". As you can see, this is an interrogative sentence without any interrogative word. So, what happens is, again it starts with the medium pitch and then it goes up on the word which contains the question. In this case, it is dome. So, it rises up and then again comes down. Eta dome, eta dome. So, the next intonation construction we have is mama doma a papa, mama doma a papa. This is a case of incomplete interrogative sentence. So, what happens is mama doma. So, you start from the medium pitch, it comes down towards the last stress syllable, and then again it rises up and comes down. Mama doma a papa, mama doma a papa. So, you must have understood, I mean these are the basic intonation constructions in Russian language. There are some more also that, but that we will do in the next classes. As we have already finished the intonation constructions, now we will practice those intonation rules with some examples. So, we have taken a few dialogues, we will try to read them with correct intonation. Let us try to read this dialogue. Здравствуйте, 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 здравствуйте. Мама дома? Мама дома? Да, она дома. А папа? Он тут. Спасибо. До свидания. До свидания. I'll repeat it once again. Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. Мама дома? Да, она дома. А папа? Он тут. Спасибо. До свидания. До свидания. Let us move on to our next dialogue. Это стол? Да, это стол. I'll repeat it once again. Это стол? Да, это стол. Это шкаф? Да, это шкаф. So, this is how we read a dialogue in Russian. So, let us conclude this lesson. What all we have learned in this lesson? We have learned some consonants and vowels with some words. We also learned some pronunciation rules, intonation of a sentence, and we practiced those rules with some examples. Спасибо. До свидания.